I don't care how long it is, just get to it.
Oh, okay. Got this alligator. And this alligator, he goes into his local bar, and he, you heard this before? No. Anyway, he sails up to the bar, and he orders a drink, and he's talking to the bartender. He's the only one in there. It's kind of early, about 5 o'clock or so. And they're talking for a little while. Pretty soon, a woman comes walking in. She goes down to the other end of the bar, and she pulls up a chair, and the bartender goes down, gets her drink. He comes back, and the alligator's watching this woman. He's got this little gleam in his eye, and the alligator looks at him, and he says, I know what you're doing. And the alligator says, what? And he says, you're thinking about going down there and eat that woman. And the alligator says, what makes you think that? He says, I can tell that look in your eye. And the bartender says, I want to tell you now, you better not do it. And the alligator says, why not? I've eaten humans before. It's been no big deal. And the bartender says, if you go down there and eat that woman, you're going to fall asleep for 5 hours. And alligator says, bullshit. So anyway, alligator gets up. He goes down there, grabs the woman, gobbles her down, purse and all. Next thing you know, he's out like a light. 5 hours later, he wakes up, looks up, and there's the bartender shaking his head, saying, I told you so. The alligator said, what happened? And the bartender said, didn't you know? That was a bar bitch you ate.
That's a good one. That'll work. What about you guys?
What's that?
I don't care.
Hey, you missed the dirty one.
Let me think. No, don't know me.
Two gay Irish guys.
Wait a minute. Here we go.
The two gay Irish guys, Michael Fitzpatrick and Patrick Fitzmichael.
Okay. But I'm bummed. Anybody you can tell us?
Why does it take longer to make a snow woman than a snowman?
I don't know.
Takes an extra half hour just to hollow out the head.
Ooh, that's going to go over nicely in here. What about you?
I don't have any.
Got one. Hold on.
It's a cute one. It's not real hilarious.
Watch it there, Amy.
No, who am I telling? Not a. Okay. It's a cute joke. It's not.
Just say it.
All right.
Get on with it.
There's a string, and he goes walking into a bar, right?
What?
And a string.
A string?
Yeah. And he sits down at the bar, and he says, bartender, give me a beer. He says, we don't serve strings in here. Get out now. So he's all bummed out, and he goes outside the bar. And he sees all these thumbtacks going in and getting drinks, and he's really jealous and stuff. So he says, all right, if I go down and if I go back in there, and if I sit down at the table instead of the bar, maybe they won't notice. So he goes, sits down at the table. The barmaid comes up and says, get me a beer. She says, you're that string that the bartender told me about. Get out of here. You're not welcome here. We don't serve strings. So he goes back outside the bar. He sees all these thumbtacks coming in, and he's like, this isn't right. You know, I should be allowed in. So he ties a knot at the top, and he frays out his hair, right? And then he goes back in. He sits down at the bar. He says, bartender, give me a beer. Bartender says, you're that string again. Get the hell out. He looks at the bartender. He says, I'm afraid not.
I'm afraid not.
Say I wanted to joke.
I got one. Can I tell mine?
Yeah, we can tell dirty jokes. Wait a minute, over here. Wait a minute.
What's the difference between a carp and an old Iraqi woman?
I don't know.
One has whiskers and smells real bad, and the other one's a fish.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
All right. This lady comes up to this guy, and she says, I want 12 inches, and I want it to hurt. And so the guy says, well, all right, so he had sex with her twice, and then he punched her.
Okay, I've heard that one before.
Have you?
Yeah. Oh, you got a joke? You're sitting there smiling. I see it in your face.
How much color can you have in the joke?
Add quite a bit of color. Just a few choice words you want to keep from saying. All right.
It's not too bad.
Hold this a little closer, though.
There's a guy out in California that was trying to be a movie star, and he got a part in a kind of a B movie and had to be nude in the movie. And he lived on the beach, and he wore a bikini all the time, so he wasn't too far from being tanned all over, but he had to get tanned all over, and getting the backside taken care of wasn't too big a problem, but getting his privates tanned was a little tough. So he got to thinking about it, and he decided he'd just go ahead and put himself in the sand, cover himself with sand, leave the part out that needed to be tanned, and let it go. Well, you know, it's cool and it's quiet, and the waves are beating on the shore, and he goes sound asleep. Down at the beach comes these two old ladies, about 80 years old, for the morning constitutional. And they're walking along, and they're just jittering with their canes, and the old lady, one of them looks down and she sees him, or sees what she sees anyway, and she takes her cane and she kind of flops it around a little bit, and she says, Agnes, that when I was in my teens, those things scared me to death. And when I was in my 20s, I kind of started liking them. When I was in my 30s and 40s, I chased after them, and when I was in my 50s and 60s, I even paid for one or two of them. Ain't it our luck? Here we are, 80 years old, and the damn things are growing wild on the beach. No? Well, you had to be there, I guess.
You had to be there. Okay. Yeah, hit me.
All right. This one's better than the first one. Yeah, the one I just told you. It's good. All right. This guy walks into this bar with an octopus, all right? And the bartender's like, oh, man, you can't have this octopus in here. And the guy goes, well, why not? He goes, well, the octopus, it's just an octopus. And he goes, oh, this octopus plays instruments. The guy goes, oh, yeah? He goes, all right, well, I'll bet you $5 that octopus can't play that trumpet over there. So the guy looks at the octopus. He goes, go over there and play that trumpet. So the octopus goes over. He plays the trumpet. And the guy gives him $5. He's all upset. He goes, all right, well, let's go double or nothing for that drum set over there. And so the octopus goes over. He plays the drums. And the guy's like, oh, man, he owes him $10 now. So he goes, all right. He goes, $20 says he can't play that guitar. The octopus goes, he plays guitar, and the bartender finally, he's all upset. He says, all right, I got one. I know he can't play this one. Make him play those bagpipes. So the octopus goes over there, and he starts wrestling around with the bagpipes, and the bartender starts laughing, going, I gotcha. And the guy looks at him and goes, just as soon as he figures out he can't have sex with it, he'll play it.
Jokes to tell us?
Do it again. She does.
Yeah, you do.
I asked you about you.
Here, hold this.
Testing. 1, 2, 3, testing. Is it on? Hello? Hi. It's on. You want my joke? What joke do you want me to tell? The one you just told. Oh, okay. What are the 4 essential animals a woman must have? Okay. Mink in her closet, a jaguar in her garage, a tiger in her bed, and a jackass to pay for it all.
Anybody else?
I don't have one more. What's one good thing about having Alzheimer's? You can hide your own Easter eggs. It's a cruel joke, but she had to do it.
What was it? Last week?
Okay, 2 guys walking down the street. So I'm a nosy guy. I asked the first guy, what happened? He says, Vietnam, 1964. I asked the other guy, what happened to you? He says, dog shit, 3 doors down.
Okay. She's got one. You can even. All right.
Okay, there's a newspaper reporter, and he's driving down the road, country road, and he sees a 3-legged pig. And he goes, well, that might make an interesting story. I'd like to find out about that. So he goes to the farmhouse, knocks on the door. Farmer answers the door. He goes, excuse me, sir, I'd like to know the story behind your 3-legged pig. And the farmer goes, well, 2 years ago, he goes, I was out plowing the back 40, and the tractor rolled over on me. Pig came out, burrowed me out, and saved my life. The reporter goes, well, that's very interesting, but how come the pig only has 3 legs? And the farmer goes, well, about a year ago, he goes, farmhouse started on fire. We were all asleep. Pig got out of the barn, woke us all up, saved our lives. And the reporter goes, well, that's a fantastic pig, but why does he only have 3 legs? And the farmer goes, well, hell, son, a pig like that, you don't eat all at once.
I've heard that. What's the story on the penguin?
I'm not looking at the camera.
All right, don't look at the camera. Go ahead. Just tell the damn joke.
Why does it take 2 women with PMS to screw into a light bulb?
I don't know.
Because it just does!
I got it 2 weeks ago. I think somebody else told that to tell. Maybe you'll get them. There's a whale. There's a couple of whales. They're cruising the ocean. And you've heard this?
Yeah, today.
Okay. So they're cruising along. They see a ship, and they say, hey, I got an idea. Let's go take our blowholes over to the ship and blow this boat over. And the other one says, okay, we'll do that. So they go over to the ship, and they spout and blow the ship over. The sailors are all swimming around, and one whale looks at the other and says, hey, I got an idea. Let's eat those sailors. And the other whale says, hey, look, I agreed to the blow job, but I'm not going to eat any semen.
You blew it! But I'm not going to swallow any semen.
Swallow any semen. There you okay. Eat, swallow. What's the difference?
All right, tell the
Yes, you are. Come on, come on. I just told one over there. You'll see it later.
It's gross. I'm not going to tell the
Tell the joke.
All right.
I hate the beg.
I'm leaving right after I tell this joke. You have embarrassed me to no end.
We'll be back later, though.
Okay.
I don't have enough yet.
She really had fun doing this, too.
Did you guys hear this joke?
No, they haven't heard.
She really had
I
fun
am
doing
embarrassed.
Okay.
I'm from out of town. And last night I spent the night here at the nice Southfield Holiday Inn. And I had a dream while I was asleep that I had oral sex with a chicken.
Did you get that?
You. No, anyway.
Drink this beer. Scooter bump.
Okay. How do you put a rubber on an elephant?
How do you put rubber on an
And
elephant?
a rubber on an
A
elephant.
rubber?
Yes.
I don't know.
You take the F out of safe and the F out of way.
The F out of way. F out of way.
Yeah.
There's no F in way.
Thank you.
No, there's no F in way. I get it. Dude. Yeah, well.
Okay.
This is wait a minute. This is a warning for me. Get ready to push the button.
So I'm excited. Okay, come on. Excited. Get excited. Okay.
He's excited now, guys.
I think I'll move.
This golfer has a heart attack after playing this round of golf, and he goes up to heaven, but he goes going to the gates, pearly gates, and St. Peter stops him. He says, well, just a minute, you just can't walk in there like that. He says, well, why not? I've been good all my life. He says, well, wait a minute. He says, I just seen this stuff here. You've been using some really abusive language, and you guys use God's name in vain really bad. And I just can't let you do that. He says, but there's been extenuating circumstances. And he says, well, just a minute, I'll have to get Christ over here and take a look at this. So Christ comes over and he says, well, you better explain to me exactly what happened. He says, well, I was on the last hole of this match play, and I only needed a par to win. And I teed off on the 18th hole, and I hit the drive, and it kind of shanked off to the left into a fairway bunker. He says, well, is that when you used my name in vain and used all that abusive language? He says, no. He says, I took a 2-iron out, and I hit a pretty fair ball. He says, but then I kind of sliced it to the right and went into the trap alongside the green. He says, all right, fine, you're lying too, big deal. He says, is that when you used all that abusive language? He says, no. He says, I took my sandwich out and I put it about 3 feet from the pin. He says, I can't see that too bad. You only needed a par to win. And the guy says, yeah, I know. And Christ looked at him and says, don't tell me you missed a fucking putt.
This guy has mastered to laugh, but he understands.
I don't know. Don't do that around here.
What's the definition of indecent?
I don't know.
When it's long enough and wide enough and in deep enough, it's indecent.
See, now, actually, there's no language here, so it doesn't matter. It's all suggestive. What about you? You got any?
I don't have any.
Okay. I mean, I don't mind that it's risque in nature. I just need some of the words cleaned up.
Probably could. There was this lady who walked in a bar, and she walked into a druggist and had her little schnauzer dog underneath her arm, and she wanted to get some hair removal to trim his mustache. And the only reason she went into the druggist is because she didn't want to punch his eyes out with scissors when she trimmed it. So she walks into a bar, or a drugstore, pharmacist, whatever, and she says, I want some neat. He says, well, ma'am, he gives it to her and said, if you put on your legs, you got to put on heavy, because neat will, your legs are your skin's tougher, and you gotta put it on heavy. She said, I ain't putting it on my legs. He says, well, if you put it underneath your arms, you gotta put it on light because your skin underneath your arms is soft. I ain't putting it underneath my arms. He says, ma'am, where are you putting it? She says, I'm putting it on my schnauzer. He said, don't ride a bike for 3 weeks.
Okay, that's fine. I think that'll work. Yeah, anybody else? Impressions, maybe?
This lady does have a.
It's a long joke and it's dirty. Do you accept dirty jokes?
Can you tell it quickly?
Yeah. Come on.
Come on, try your best.
Come on, Marshall. You know you
Guys got a joke for you.
We already hit him.
Okay, there was this little field mouse and he was a horny little thing and he
Now,
was.
wait a minute. Let me stop you before we even get started here. Try to keep the language down to a minimum, all right?
The language isn't bad, but the joke is bad.
History tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right.
There was, okay, ready? Ready, okay. There was this little field mouse and he lived on these campgrounds and he was a horny little thing and he came across this other little female field mouse that says, goes up to her and says, hey, baby, want to do it? And the little field mouse says, oh no, get away from me. I don't want to have anything to do with you. And the male field mouse says, oh well, on to bigger and better things. So the male field mouse goes up to this mare and he goes up to the mare and he says, hey, baby, you want to do it? And the mare kind of swishes her tail and scoots the little mouse away and says, just get away from me. I don't want to have anything to do with you. Says, oh well, on to bigger and better things. So the little field mouse is tromping around the campground or
Don't make her laugh.
the grounds and he sees this elephant tied up to this coconut tree. And he goes up to the elephant. He says, hey, baby, want to do it? The elephant says, oh, well, what the heck? Hop on. So the little field mouse is on this elephant going away at it. And there's this monkey up in the coconut tree laughing and laughing. And as he's laughing, he's shaking the tree. And these coconuts are falling down on the elephant's head. And the elephant's going, ow, ow, ow. And the little mouse goes, suffer, baby, suffer.
That'll work. 2, 3, 4, ba-dum-bum. Just tell it nicely.
Yeah, what one gay guy say to the other gay guy as they were walking past the funeral home?
Jeez, I don't know. What did he say?
Let's go in and suck down a couple cold ones.
Oh. What?
A real weak joke. All right.
Language.
No problem. Grasshopper goes into a bar, jumps up on the bar stool, says, bartender will have a beer. Bartender looks over and says, hey, we got a drink named after you. Looks down and says, you got a drink named Bill?
Yeah, that's pretty weak. But
yes, okay. How many times on the average?
I don't know the joke and I know where it's going.
How many times on the average does a woman have an orgasm during sex?
Oh, geez, I don't know.
Who cares?
Yeah, I like that. But I already know that that's all right.
Oh man, I can't tell it.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
You can see. Yeah,
This guy and this young lady, they got married and everything was going real well. Okay. And they got back to the hotel room for the final night or the big fling at the night. Anyways, he didn't know anything about sex at all. So his father-in-law was coming along to kind of coach him along. He's in the opposite room knocking on the wall. Every time he'd answer, he'd knock, tell him everything was fine. Well, they finally got the whole thing settled. He knew what he was going to do. He goes into the room. Well, first off, before any of that ever happened, the wife's in there. She's got to go to the John real bad. He's in the John talking to the old man. She said, honey, I got to go to the bathroom. I got to go to the bathroom. He said, no, 5 minutes. Well, she has to go so bad she goes in a box. Throws the box under the bed. Okay. Well, he jumps out of the bathroom. He's ready to go. They jump in the bed, takes the clothes off, starts smelling something. Holy cow, I smell shit. This is terrible. I can't do anything. Starts looking around. No, she says, it's nothing. Don't worry about it, honey. Just come back here. So, start going at it again. He says, no, I can't do this. This is gross. I can't do it. He looks under the bed. Oh my God, there's shit in the box. And you hear the knocking on the wall. Turn her over. That's the joke. It sucked. I screwed it up.
Yeah, you did. Actually, I've always always heard it as since I'm of Polish persuasion, it was a Polak joke. And the guy has to have his friend in the bathroom to coax him, and he's running back and forth so often, and the woman in the bed is having such a hard time, and about BM, and she finds a shoebox under the bed and goes in it, but inadvertently she doesn't shove it under the bed, and when he comes back in from the bathroom, he's ready to do it. He's got the final instruction, he steps in the box and yells that out, and then from the bathroom you hear, "Turn her over!"
Yeah, same thing, different lines. Good deal.
You say it, yeah. Well, that's why. What else? Who else?
You ought to be good for one.
Tell me a joke.
Quick one. What do intelligent women and UFOs have in common?
I don't know.
You always hear about them, but you never see one.
That's reversed.
What did you say? Now tell us.
That's reverse.
No, reversed.
Okay.
All right. There was this guy and this girl, and they were going to bed together, and this girl had never seen a guy, so she's just kind of laying in their bed looking at him, you know. She goes, "Well, what's that?" And he says, "Well, that's my doll." And she says, "Oh, okay." So they cuddled up and they went to sleep. Pretty soon in the middle of the night, he just wakes up screaming, and she had her hand on his doll, and he says, "Well, what are you doing?" And she says, "Well, I was playing with your doll, but it spit at me, so I broke its neck." Sorry.
That's all right.
Okay, all right, you ready? Okay, you guys got to hear this, okay? Okay, James Worthy goes into, he's down in Dallas, and he goes into the whorehouse, right? And he asks the madam, you know, what I got? I don't have too much time. I don't have too much money. And he goes, what can I get? He goes, well, $150 for everything. And he goes, no, I don't have that much time. And he goes, she goes, okay, $75, half hour. I don't even have a half hour. She goes, well, looks like you got enough time for the penguin blowjob, right? So he goes, what's the penguin blowjob? She goes, don't worry about it, you'll find out. So he goes in the room, and the most beautiful girl comes in the room, and she just says, drop your drawers, and we'll be all set. And she's gorgeous, right? And he goes, well, should I get on the bed? No, just stand right there, drop your drawers, right around your ankles. She gets down, and she starts working out, and 4 minutes later, he's ready to go. All of a sudden, she stops and walks out of the door. James Worthy goes, hey, where are you going?
Hey, you should know by now to widen out on that joke. What's what for?
This here, what's he doing?
We're just taping for us here.
Oh, what do you want to know?
He's gonna tell us a joke.
Oh, you ever seen a bus driver joke?
No, the bus driver joke.
Oh, you never heard that one?
No.
This little old lady, you know, she gets on the bus. So she goes like this to the bus driver. The bus driver looks at her and goes, boom, you know? So she goes like this and looks at the bus driver. The bus driver goes. So she looks at the bus driver and she goes, woo! So the bus driver looks at her and he goes, so she goes like this, gets off the bus. Lady come running up to the front of the bus. She said, Mr. Bus Driver, I want your name and your number. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to turn you into your company. He says, why? He said, that lady, what you did to her. He says, listen, that lady's deaf and dumb. He says, she said, it's a fair 5 cents. I said, no, it's a dime. And she said, is this an express? I said, no, strictly a local. He said, you're going to the dairy? I said, no, straight to the ballpark. I better get my ass off here.
I've heard that. That's been a long time since I heard. Who's got one down here? You are. Excuse me. Get out of the way. Come on, you can do it. Don't make me beg.
Okay. Oh, great. This lady walks into the bar, and she sits down, she orders a drink. And the bartender says, okay, and gives her the drink, and she pays him, she drinks a drink, and he goes, would you like another drink? And she looks in her pocketbook, and she goes, okay, I'll have another drink. And the bartender says, okay, and he gives her a beer, and she drinks her beer, and would you like another drink? She looks in her pocketbook, she goes, yeah, another drink will be fine. The bartender says, okay. So he gives her the drink and walks back in. Would you like another one? She looks at her purse, she goes, nope, it's time for me to go. And he goes, well, I'm sorry, I just have to ask this before you leave. He goes, every time I ask you if you want a drink, you look in your purse and you say yes, and this time you said no. Why is that? And she goes, because anytime I look in my purse, there's a picture of my husband, and he starts to look good, I know it's time to go home.
He says, yay. This is Remax here, I take it.
Don't.
No, you do too.
No, I don't.
I know.
Okay, I've got a long joke. This may or may not be funny.
That's what I said. And that's.
Do you guys tell Oli and Lena jokes in Michigan?
Oh, I've heard one. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Oli and Lena, they're this Norwegian couple, and they're living on the farm. And Oli's out in the field working, and whenever Lena wants to talk to Oli, she says to him, "Oh, Oli!" And Oli will come running in from the field to get a phone call, and if Lena needs him to come in for dinner, she calls out, "Oh, Oli!" And Oli will come running in from the field to eat his dinner. And after at least 10 years of this, Oli finally gets up enough guts to ask Lena, "Lena, how come every time you want me, you go like this? Oh, Oli." And Lena says, "Well, Oli, because that's how big you are." And Oli says, "Lena, when I want you, I don't go, Lena!"
Wait a minute. How big what is that? Got jokes, I know you do.
It's a long one, though.
How long? About a minute and a half? That's fine.
All right. There's a U.S. serviceman. He's in Korea. The battlefield is getting shelled real bad. So he runs in, he jumps in to a foxhole, and he looks over in the corner of the foxhole, and there's American Indians sitting there. He says to the Indian, "Do you speak American or do you speak English?" Ugh. Says, trying to make conversation. It's getting kind of hectic. He says, "Are you a paratrooper?" And the Indian says, "Ugh." And he says, "Are you a member of the infantry?" And the Indian says, "Ugh." So he says, "Well, you must be a member of the artillery squad." Ugh. Nothing, he can't understand. He says, "Well, are you a scout?" Scout? The Indian gets up, runs out of the foxhole, gets halfway across the battlefield, gets blown up. The American soldier says, "Oh shit, I gotta get the hell out of here." So he runs out, jumps into another foxhole. Sure enough, there's another American Indian sitting there. He says, "Do you speak English?" The Indian says, "Yeah." He says, "Well, weirdest experience. I was just over in the other side of the battlefield." Here it comes.
We're in the home stretch.
I was over in the other side of the battlefield with one of your buddies, and I said, "Are you a member of the infantry or a member of the paratroopers?" That's the one. And he said, "Ugh." And I said, "Are you an infantryman?" He said, "Ugh." I said, "Are you a member of the artillery squad?" And he said, "Ugh." And I said, "Are you a scout?" And he said, he got up and he just ran away and he got blown up. So I came over here. The Indian says, "You no say that. You say, when the sun go down and everybody go home, I'm going to fuck you up the ass till your eyes pop out."
Oh, God. He said the F word. He said the word.
I said it. That was me.
Oh, golly. Daddy. You know that joke?
No, I don't.
Here, I got a joke to tell. All right, listen up. So there's a traveling salesman going down the road. He's driving down the road, and he sees this farmer in the field just slamming away on this sheep. And he says, "Well, this is ludicrous. I got to tell somebody. This can't go on." So he goes down the road. He finds a farmhouse. He goes up on the porch. There's a guy sitting on the porch, a kid, and he says, "Hey, I need to use your phone. I need to call the cops. I was I was driving down the road. There's a farmer out in the field. He's having sodomy with this sheep out there." And he says, "I know. That's my father." Come on over here.
Do it, babe.
Go ahead. You should hear some of the jokes we got.
All right, well, there's this, I'm not going to end up on the news or anything, am I?
No, we're in here.
Okay, there's this married couple. They get married and they're both virgins.
Could you hold this?
Sure.
Thanks. I'll be right back.
When should I start?
Right now, Gene Collins, tell me your joke.
Okay, we're going to do our job. Should we say our company?
Yes.
This is for Uncle Bob. This is for Uncle Bob. Okay,
Right,
there's this married couple, and they get married, and they're both virgins, and so his wife says to him right after the ceremony, honey, what are we going to do? Neither one of us know what to do sexually. And he says, "Well, I have that worked out. We're going to go down to Cinema X." So she says, "Oh, all right." So they go down to Cinema X, and they pay their fee, whatever it is, and they start watching movies. So they're watching some movies, and
he goes to his wife, honey, come on, let's go. And she goes, no, not yet. We're going to stay and watch the whole movie. He goes, no, honey, come on, let's go. And she goes, no, we are staying for the entirety of the movie. So the movie finally gets over, and they go back to the hotel, and it's ecstasy to the max. I mean, just wonderful. They're doing every single thing they saw. They're upside down, they're sideways, they're every which way. And he goes, honey, God, stop. He goes, man, you have done everything. You have pleased me to the max. It's been ecstasy all the way. Is there anything at all that I can do just for you, hon? She goes, yeah. Kiss me.
Oh, man. Yes, That's it. My husband. Give me a kiss right here.
That's sort of like the feathers joke, isn't it? What do you want?
Nothing.
Oh, you're just moving. All right, where are we going? Could be one of those days, I'll tell you.
I got a good joke. This is a good joke. Did you hear that a few black guys bought out Toys R Us?
No. What happened?
They changed the name to We Be Games and shit.
That's good. That'll work. Did you get that one? All right, thanks.
Close by. Toledo?
Fine.
Toledo. Why can't Toledo get a professional football team?
I don't know.
Because Detroit would want one too?
This is true.
He's from out of town.
Do you know what the gay Japanese guy's favorite food is?
No.
Cream of some young guy. He didn't laugh.
Well, you know what 61 is, don't you? It's just like a 69, only you get 8 less.
Not the one about the two high-priced hookers that were sitting at the bar talking about their evening before? Did you hear that one?
I don't think so. You know what?
Well, the one hooker says to the other, yeah, I had this guy come up to me, you know, he was sitting at the other end of the bar, he walked down, he wanted to have sex with me. And I told him it was going to cost him $200. And the guy said, oh, man, he says, I don't have that much, I've only got $50. She goes, well, I can't do nothing for you then. He says, oh, come on, you gotta be able to do something, at least I get a hand job or something, So she goes, all right. So they get a room and they go up to the room and the girl yanks down his pants and his dick's hanging to the floor. And the other chick goes, no kidding, what'd you do? And she goes, well, what do you think I did? I loaned him $150.
Oh. What are you laughing at?
Into your will, Mike.
Yeah, I know. I just forgot.
Go ahead, tell me.
There was 3 men had been an Englishman, an American, and a Japanese. They were on a safari in Africa. They were captured by the cannibals, and cannibals were going to kill them, and they were going to give them all one last request. So they asked the Englishman what he wanted. He said he wanted to hear the English national anthem. So they played it, and then they killed the guy. So the Japanese guy and the American were left, and so they asked the Japanese guy, they say, you got one last request, what do you want to hear? And he says, I want to hear a speech on Japanese productivity. And the American guy says, hell, he says, take me next. He says, kill me. If I got to listen to another one of those speeches, I want to be next.
It's a clean joke. And this is second death joke, You know, stuff runs in cycles. Here, get a shot of this woman. Take her right on the leg. See, look at that calf. What a calf, eh? Can you get a zoom on that? Yeah. Yeah, he's got one.
I got one. This is kind of a seasonal joke. It is deer hunting season, and all those guys, they get together and go up north, but they're really all pretty intimate lovers. And you know why deer hunters make better lovers, don't you?
No, why?
Deer hunters make better lovers because they always go deep into the bush. They almost always shoot twice, and they always eat what they shoot.
I knew this was coming. It's a nice toupee. Thanks. Anybody else? I know you're looking at me like you got one. You don't know if you should tell it or not. Go ahead. Do it.
It's too long.
Yeah, that's what she said. Now, come on. How long?
Oh, I don't know.
But hey, didn't stop.
Well, there were 3 guys. They were getting ready to tee off. Walk up and there's a lake in front of them. So the first guy gets up there, he tees off, and his ball goes in the water, parts the water, goes down, smacks it out, back on the fairway, goes back to the tee, and the 2 other guys say, "Nice shot, Moses." Second guy walks up.
Moses?
Yeah, Moses. Second guy walks up, tees off, his ball skips out and stays on top. Well, he walks out, chips it up, back in the fairway, walk back, and the 2 other guys say, "Nice shot, Jesus." So the third guy gets up there, and he hits his ball, and his ball's headed right for the water, too. All of a sudden, a big fish jumps out, grabs the ball, an eagle swoops down, grabs the fish, takes off, bolt lightning comes down, kills the eagle, fish drops the ball, rolls in the pocket. Jesus turns around and says, "Nice shot, Dad."
Okie doke.
Heidi Daisy, standard register. My joke is, how many Irishmen does it take to screw in a light bulb?
I can screw in a light bulb tonight.
Well, it takes 1 to hold the light bulb and 29 to drink until the room starts spinning. Frank, this is Frank Chalupa, straight from Chicago, Illinois. Frank?
All right, how many pounds does it take to fly a Northwest 737? 2 1/5.
Thank you very much.
Okay. There was this little boy named Johnny, and he went to kindergarten for his first day, okay? And he comes home from school, and his mom says, "So, Johnny, what'd you do at school today?" He says, "Well, Mom, I fucked the teacher." His mom says, "Oh, my God." Johnny sends him up to his room.
Screwed from
His mom sends him up to your room, scolding him, gets all mad at him, okay? So his dad comes home from work and he says, "So, Johnny, what'd you do at school today?" He says, "Well, Dad, I screwed the teacher." And he says, "Oh, good job, Johnny, good job, I'm so proud of you." So his dad says, "We're going out for pizza, ice cream, everything, whatever you want, you got it." He says, "Okay." So they're out and eating pizza. And his dad says, "So, Johnny, you got to tell me all the details, okay?" So he says, "Well, Dad, I said I screwed the teacher, but he wasn't as good as I thought he was."
See, you thought it was funny too, didn't you?
I only laugh at one joke a night.
Terrible mouth, young lady. You gotta listen to this joke.
Now, do you want what's behind the curtain or what Carol Merrill's holding in the box?
I'll take that.
In her box.
There's this Polish person walking down the road in Maine. He sees a farmer plowing a field with a cow. And the cow's going zigzags and circles, everything. The Polak says to the farmer, "What's the matter with the cow?" And the farmer says, "The cow's got cross-eyed, can't see straight." So the Polak thinks for 3 days and says,
"You sure these aren't Iraqis instead of Polish people?" The Polacks.
Either way, I'm sorry.
I'm Polish. We'll tell it slowly then.
You think I would get on?
Hey, my girlfriend's Polish. That's why I like it.
Whoa.
So the farmer,
We're cross-eyed.
so the Polish person goes to the farmer and says, "Hey, you're screwing me up. Now wait."
Just can't say.
Hey, this is a clean joke. So he thinks for 3 days and says, goes to the farmer and says, "You got a 3-foot hose?" The farmer says, "Yeah." So the farmer runs to the barn, gets a 3-foot hose, goes back to the Polak and says, "What do I do with it?" He said, "I stand in front, you stick it up his ass and blow as hard as you can, and when his eyes go straight, I'll tell you quit blowing." So the farmer says, "Okay," and farmer starts blowing. Polak says, "Blow harder." Farmer blows and blows and blows. Pollock says, blow harder. Farmer's just turning red in the face. He says, I can't do it. Pollock says, come on, I'll switch your places. So the Pollock gets out and turns the hose, reverse the hose. Farmer says, what are you doing? And the Polish says, you think I'm going to catch your germs?
Right. Okay, we're going. Get a nice tight shot on his face here. I want to start now. Give me a little bit of side here. All right, here's Rob and his famous superhuman trick. Hit it. Yes! Yes! There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You said it couldn't be done. It's done. We got some over here in the corner. You'll see it. What's going on over here? You got a joke for us? What?
Not a thing.
Lamb, come on, tell the joke.
No, he's
took me out last
You
week.
can do the whole thing you did last week. Never made it to tape.
I know. Did I tell you about the two girls that I was dating from Ohio? One was from Dayton and the other one was from Eaton. I said, but I had to break up with him because I couldn't remember if I was dating the girl from Eaton or if I was eating the girl from Dayton.
Ah, shoot. Shoot, he says. Shoot.
Did you want to hear about the one about vaginitis?
No. You guys got a joke. You guys got a joke.
You got one. Oh, no, I don't.
Tell me a joke.
I don't have a joke. What's a joke? All right, this lady's giving birth to a baby, and she's pushing and pushing and pushing, and the doctor sees the baby coming out. The doctor sees blonde hair, and the doctor looks at the mother and says, oh my God, the father is a blonde. And she's like, well, yeah, the father is a blonde. The mother's pushing and pushing, the baby's coming out, and the forehead pops out, and the doctor sees a black forehead. And the doctor looks up at the mother and says, oh my God, you slept with a black man? And she's like, oh, well, you know what, I have. She's pushing, the face comes out, and the doctor sees slanted eyes. And the doctor looks up at the mother and goes, have you slept with an Oriental man? And she goes, well, yes, I have. The baby, she's pushing, the baby comes out, doctor holds up the baby, slaps the ass, the baby cries, she looks up, and she says, oh, thank God it didn't bark.
Thank God it what?
It didn't bark. Like she slept with a dog.
What do you call a woman who always knows where her husband is?
I don't know.
A widow.
That makes sense.
You ever made love rodeo style?
What?
You ever made love rodeo style?
How do you do that?
You get on your wife doggy style and say, this is how me and my girlfriend do it. Rodeo style.
Okay.
Riding Hood was getting ready to go to her grandmother's house. And
did you tell this already?
No.
Somebody else did, didn't they? Go ahead, say it again. Maybe this crowd didn't hear it.
All right, Low Red Riding Hood was going to her grandmother's house, and she got stopped along the way by her aunt who said, hey, the wolf is waiting there for you. He's going to molest you and make you do things to yourself. She's going, I'm not worried. So she goes on along her way. She keeps going, runs to another person, says, oh, where are you going? I'm going to my grandmother's house. She says, no, you can't go to your grandmother's house because the big bad wolf is waiting for you. He's going to make you molest yourself and do weird things to him. She's saying, I don't care. So she gets there. The big bad wolf says, all right, I'm going to molest you and make you do kinky things. She says, no, you're going to eat me just like the book says.
Yeah. That's somebody did tell the joke, but that's a better way. My shirt's coming out of my pants. Anybody else?
The handcuffs and all that.
All right.
Off-color jokes here?
Yeah, but just keep the language down to a minimum.
Okay. This guy is a young man. He gets his penis cut off in an industrial accident.
Good. Yeah, clinical.
Okay.
Nice and clinical.
Okay, so he gets his penis cut off in an industrial accident. He's really upset about it because he's young. He hasn't had his full uses out of it yet. So he goes to doctor after doctor. Finally, he goes to one really creative doctor, and the doctor says, I might be able to help you, but it's a little radical concept here. He says, anything, my wife's about to leave me. So he says, okay. So he takes a baby elephant's trunk and attaches it to where the penis should be. So the guy goes home, and he's trying to think of how he's going to tell his wife about this operation. Well, they're at the dinner table, they're getting ready to eat. All of a sudden, the trunk whips out on the table, grabs a bun, snaps back down underneath the table. His wife is really excited. What the hell is that? And he's kind of excited too because he didn't expect it. So he says, he explains to his wife what the deal, what the operation was. She gets visibly excited at the prospects and says, well, tell me, do you think you could do that again? And he says, well, I think so, but to be honest, I don't think I could handle another bun up my ass.
Okie dokie. That brings a whole new meaning. Ow! Ow! Oh! Brings a whole new meaning to the word elephant man.
Hi.
Talk to me.
Okay, there's a classroom, and it's a bunch of second graders. And the teacher goes, she has an object lesson. She says, Susie, I'm holding something behind my back, and it's hard and it's red, and you can bite it. What is it? And Susie says, I don't know, is it a tomato? And the teacher says, no, Susie, it's an apple, but I like the way you think. She goes, Jenny, I'm holding something behind my back, and it's hard and it's green, and you can bite it. What is it? And Jenny goes, well, I don't know, is it a watermelon? The teacher goes, no, I'm sorry, it's a pear, but I like the way you think. So little Bobby stands up and he goes, teach. He goes, I got something in my pocket and it's small and it's hard and it's got a head on it. And she goes, Bobby, she goes, you march your butt right down to the principal's office. He goes, hey, it's a quarter, but I like the way you think.
Yeah, that'll work. Good, clean fun, right?
Oh no, okay. This is modify it. Okay.
He did what?
Okay, they see these two dogs. It looks like the copulate, and the son asks, "What are those two dogs doing?" And the dad says, "The one in back injured its front paws, and the one in front's helping it along." And they walk a little closer, and the son takes another look and says, "It's the same everywhere, Dad. You do someone a favor and you get fucked in the ass."
Ooh. You could have said screwed. I gotta warn everybody. All right, here we go. Over here.
It's a little 7-year-old girl, and she's just learning about the birds and the bees. She walks in on her mom and in the shower, points to her boobs and says, "Mommy, what are those?" She says, "Mommy, oh, I'm sorry, the breasts." She says, "Okay, don't worry." Says, "Mommy, when am I going to get some of those?" And she says, "Well, honey, you'll be about 15 or 16 years old. Next thing you know, you'll probably look just like me." Next day, she walks in on her dad in the shower and says, "Daddy, when am I going to get one of those?" Says, "As soon as your mama goes to bingo."
That's disgusting. What, you got another one?
Oh, yeah.
Who?
He goes in for his yearly checkup with the doctor. This guy goes in for his yearly checkup with the doctor, a health examination, and the doctor goes, "Yuck, man, your breath stinks, man. I think you got the Zackleys." And the guy goes, "What's the Zackleys?" And he goes, "That's when your breath smells exactly like your asshole."
That's acceptable. Thank you, guys. Jokes this week?
Hey, what's the worst thing about being an atheist?
I don't know.
You got no one to talk to when you have an orgasm.
Oh, God. Anybody else? It's joke time.
Guy walks into a store.
I can't get over there. Go ahead, Rick.
Guy walks into a store, wants to buy some condoms. Guy looks at it and goes, "You want the 6-pack, 9-pack, or 12-pack?" Well, what's the difference? Goes, "Oh, the 6-packs says, that's for college. That's for normal people just going out because you need one for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday." "What's the 9-pack for?" "Oh, that's college students. One for every day of the week, 2 for Saturday, 2 for Sunday." "Well, what's the 12-pack?" "Oh, that's for married couples." "Married couples? What are you talking about?" "Oh, one for January, one for February, one for March, April."
But you got one? He just told your joke? Look at.
You want
There
a good one?
Huh?
You want a good one?
Yeah, I want a good one. Got one?
Should I do it, Rick? Okay, why do Iraqi women have a little red dot in the middle of their forehead?
Iraqi women. Do they? I didn't think they did, but
Why do they have
with
the?
you. Why do they?
Because when their husbands wake up in the morning, they go, "Why are you so fucking ugly?"
She's abusive. I'm sorry.
You wanted it.
Visual one. It's a visual joke.
What?
Visual.
All right, do it.
Okay, wait.
As long as you ain't beat me in the forehead like somebody else.
Wait, no, I know
Hey,
Have I got a
you
red
got the
dot?
little red dot right
So
there.
We're just. We're,
Okay, I'm gonna tell it to her. Okay, you got 4 pennies here. Do you see a car here? No. There's a Lincoln. Okay. Do you see any fruit? said, "Do you see any pussy?" No. And you're not going to for 4 cents.
Yeah. Zeta's joke. Zeta says, "What's the difference between parsley and pussy?"
I don't know. What is it?
Nobody eats parsley.
Except me. We're sitting here talking about it. It's good for your teeth. It's got chlorophyll. Plenty of it. What's the word today, Martha?
The tacos are fabulous.
You like the cucumbers too?
Great, wonderful veggies and tacos and beer, man. This is life.
Rick, you had some. Tell me some jokes.
I told you all the clean jokes last week.
There was what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed So, okay, tell the jokes. These two guys walk into a bar. No, wait a minute. I don't have any jokes today either. I don't have one for some strange reason. I usually do. I told my orgasm pepper joke, right? I've told the... What? The 3 nuns? I can't tell that joke. I can tell you about the 2 gay guys walking down the street. They pass the mortuary. One turns to the other one and says, "Hey, you want to go in and suck down a couple cold ones?" What about what Spock found in the captain's toilet on the Starship Enterprise? The captain's log. I don't know. All I know is old jokes, man. Get out of here.
You can get by with that one. I can get by with this one.
All right. See, I just gave him some ideas.
Okay. You know, we're from Minnesota, of course, so we got a lot of those Ole and Lena jokes.
So what?
Ole and Lena jokes.
All right.
They're ethnic Norwegian jokes. Ole and Lena. Well, anyway, Ole and Lena were having their 35th wedding anniversary. So he had to have something special for Lena. So he goes out to his old friend Lars and says, "Lars, go with me." He said, "We'll go down to the local Walmart store and we'll pick out something nice for Lena." So he got in there, and he was over there looking around, and he come up to the perfume counter, and the lady over there, she says, "Can I help you?" And he said, "Yes." He said, "I have to have something for Lena on our anniversary." And she says, "Well, pick out one of these perfumes. They're all pretty nice." She said, "I know she'll like them." So he took one and he sprayed on his arm, and he went like that, and he says, "What's the name of this one?" And she says, "Come to Me." "My goodness," he says. "Hey, Lars, come over here." So Lars come over and he said, "Does this smell like come to you?"
I've heard that one before. That's great.
No, buddy, you're on camera. Wait a minute, I have a joke. I have the ultimate male chauvinist joke. How can you tell when your woman is coming?
I don't know.
Who cares?
Right. There you I don't get it. It's this. What do 1,000 battered women have in common? They don't know when to shut up. That's the joke, isn't it? Hit me.
What's the difference between an Italian grandma and an elephant? An Italian grandma and an elephant.
What's the difference between an Italian grandma and an elephant?
10 pounds in a black dress.
Okay, Harvey.
Crazy Harvey.
Okay, there were there were 4 fags sitting in a hot tub.
In a hot tub?
Yes, there was sipping champagne and listening to music. After a while, a condom floated to the top of the hot tub. So one fag turned to the other 3 and says, "Okay, which one of you guys farted?"
I heard it coming. Yes. Yeah. I saw that, as Dave would say, I heard that one coming down the Hudson.
What do you get when you cross? Oh, wait a second. I'm trying to think. Oh, what do you get when you cross a girl with? What do you call a girl that has PMS and ESP?
I don't know.
I bet you think she knows everything.
A clairvoyant PMS and ESP is.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know the difference between a new puppy and a Michigan fan?
Same one she told.
Is that right?
I have
Okay.
Yeah, but he said a new puppy.
You can teach a new puppy to stop whining after a week.
You can teach a new puppy to... See, his was better. You can teach a new puppy to stop whining. His was a little more articulate.
You want to hear my favorite joke?
Okay, come over here.
This is a long one. You got 5 minutes?
5 minutes? Well, if you tell it quickly, yeah.
All right. 3 men are walking down the beach. One of them kicks up a lamp, picks it up, rubs it off. Oh, okay. Picks it up, rubs it off. Out pops a genie. The genie says, "I'll grant you one wish." He says, "I want to be 10 times smarter than the smartest man in the world." So she's, poof, you're 10 times smarter, right? So the guy gets all these ideas, starts wheeling and dealing, and just like that, he has $10 million. Second guy grabs a lamp, rubs it, genie pops out, says, "I'll grant you one wish." He says, "I want to be 100 times smarter than the smartest man in the world." Poof, he's 100 times smarter. He starts thinking, inventing stuff, and just like that, he's got $100 million. Third guy grabs a lamp, rubs it off, genie pops out, says, "I'll grant you one wish." He says, "Wait a minute. You made that guy 10 times smarter than the smartest man in the world. He's now got $10 million. You made the second guy 100 times smarter than the smartest man in the world. He's now got $100 million. I want to be 1,000 times smarter than the smartest man in the world." She says, "Okay, you're a woman." Women love it. Men give me that look.
Get the gong.
Wow, 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 wow.
Don't make me beg. Don't make me get down on my hands and knees. Or just my knees.
Mary Ann was walking down an alley one night, and all of a sudden a guy jumps on her and starts taking off all her clothes. Stupid Mary Jane starts laughing and laughing because she knew her clothes wouldn't fit him.
Went from Mary Ann to Mary Kay, I think.
You said Mary Ann to Mary Kay.
Oops. No, I said Mary Ann, didn't I?
No, tell me the other one about
That is
flagpole.
funny. That's funny.
No.
I like that.
Tell me flagpole.
No.
Tell me, quick.
Mary Ann was at a drive-in with her boyfriend. He starts going down her shirt. Mary Jane, it's Mary Jane. Mary Jane starts laughing and laughing because she knew her money was in her shoes.
Wait, tell him more. There's more.
There's not.
Flagpole.
Come on. Don't make me beg.
Mary Jane came home from school one day and her mom starts, "So how was your day at school?" She goes, "Well, these guys keep telling me to climb up a pole every day." And she goes, "Mary Jane, you have a dress on. They're looking for your underwear." And she says, "No, Mom, I don't have any underwear on." Stupid Mary Ann jokes. That's why I call them
That
stupid.
one was stupid.
Yeah.
The other one's what?
Mary Jane went to the doctors, and the doctors told her she was having twins. Stupid Mary Jane starts laughing because she knew she only did it once. That's all the Mary Jane jokes.
It's endless. Oh, it just ended. Well, tell us a dirty one.
Semi-dirty. Why'd the chicken cross the basketball court?
I give up.
He heard the ref was blowing fouls. Halloween joke. You know how the good old boys in Georgia celebrate Halloween? Pumpkin.
Pumpkin. What about you? You got jokes for us?
Well, how about this one? Did you know that Eve was the first computer operator?
No.
In one hand she had an apple, in the other hand she had a wing. Did you hear that one too?
Yeah.
Some of these people haven't heard him.
Jim Baker, you hear that one?
No.
They're going to see the Pope. So Mike Tyson and Jim Baker go there.
Here, talk to me over here.
Jim Baker's bringing the Bible and they're going to see the Pope, and Mike Tyson's big old bag of peanuts. So they walk into the Pope and Vatican, and there's Cardinal sitting there, and the Pope says, "Pope, be right out." And Mike Tyson started eating his peanut, throwing them on the ground. Jim Baker says, "I can't handle this." He's throwing his peanuts on the ground. So he walks over and he starts reading his Bible. So the Pope walks out 10 minutes later and he says, walks over to Mike Tyson and blesses him, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Doesn't say nothing to Jim Baker, so he walks off. Jim Baker comes over to Tyson and says, "What the heck? Well, why in the heck's the Pope blessing you and he ain't blessing me?" He says, "He didn't bless me." He said, "You stupid black guy, pick up your peanuts, get that guy, and get the hell out of here."
How do we get this bad boy to work? Here. Come on, don't stop now. All right.
I heard this one from my wife the other day.
Here, hold that right.
This gal goes into this doctor's office with a rash. And she says, doctor, I got this rash. The doctor says, well, go on into the changing room there, take your blouse off, and we'll have a look at it. Well, he goes in, and he notices the rash is in the shape of a pea. And he says, did you know? And she says, well, yeah, I have a boyfriend that goes to Purdue, and he likes to wear his Letterman's jacket when we make love. He says, very good. Here, take this prescription, have it filled, and it should take care of your problem. A couple weeks later, a second gal walks into his office and says, doctor, I have a rash. He says, well, go into the room, take your blouse off, and we'll have a look at it. He walks in and notices that the rash is in the shape of a S. And he says, did you know that your rash is in the shape of an S? She says, yeah, that may be. My boyfriend goes to Michigan State, and he likes to wear his Letterman's jacket when we make love. Doctor says, very good. Here's a prescription. Have it filled. This should take care of it. Well, a couple weeks later, a third gal walks into this doctor's office and says, I have a rash on my chest, doctor. And the doctor says, go into the changing room and take the blouse off. And the
some light on your face. Go ahead.
Doctor says, we'll have a look at it. And she takes her blouse off. The doctor looks at it and says, boy, that's in the shape of an M. And she says, yeah. And he says, let me guess. You date a guy that goes to Michigan and likes to wear his Letterman's jacket when he makes love. She goes, no, but I have a girlfriend that goes to Wisconsin.
But I'm bummed. Go ahead.
It seems the couple have been married 50 years, so the husband comes home from work and his wife greets him with a basket with 3 eggs in it and $1,500. So he goes, honey, what's this basket for? She says, well, it's kind of a symbol of our marriage for the last 50 years. She said the 3 eggs stand for 3 affairs that I had while we were married. He looks at me and he says, you were unfaithful to me? She says, yes, I was. But he says, well, I guess after 50 years, only 3 eggs, I can't really fault you. But he says, what's the $1,500 from? She said, well, every time I got an even dozen, I sold them.
Yeah, that'll work.
I don't have a joke.
Hey, what's a West Virginia woman put behind her ears to attract a man?
I don't know.
Her ankles.
And it works.
Oh, she's got the follow-up line. It's a team here. It's Rick and Martha. Or is it Martha and Rick in alphabetical?